Okay, this is our first video on a topic called patterns and sequences. Okay, if we look at this list of numbers here, there is a connection between each of these numbers. Okay, and a list of numbers like this with a connection between them we call a sequence. This is a different sequence across here. Again, there's a connection between the numbers, but it's a slightly different sort of connection. Also, we're going to have a look at something called a term. So if you're talking about a list of numbers, where it is in that list, we would call each individual bit of that list is called a term. So if you look at this 17 here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We would say that with this sequence, the fourth term, which is the fourth number in, is 17. Okay, so the sequence refers to the whole list of numbers, whereas a term is an individual bit of the sequence. So, for example, the second term in this sequence would be 21, because it's the second number in this list. Okay, so let's do a few of these. Look at this one here, first of all. What is the third term? Well, that's the third number in the list. That's the third term. So here, the third term would be 13. Next, if we're looking at this, what are the next three terms? Well, let's have a look. What are we doing to get the next number along? If you look at it, you see 9 is 4 more than 5, and 13 is 4 more than 9, 17 is 4 more than 13. So what we're doing is we're adding 4 each time, aren't we? Okay, so if I'm going to continue that, well, 17 plus 4 would be 21. 21 plus 4 would be 25, and 25 plus 4 would be 29. So that would be the next three terms, which means the next three numbers in that list, because we were adding 4 each time. And it says, describe the sequence using a sentence. So I would say with this one, if we looked at it, we start at 5, because it starts with a 5, and then add on 4 to get the next term. Okay? So this one, you're starting at 5, then adding on 4 to get the next term. So it starts with a 5, then the next term's 9, the next term's 13, next term's 17, and so on. Okay, let's have a look at this second example here. Again, what's the third term here? Well, that's that one there. It's 28, isn't it? That's the third term here. Yeah, because it's the third number in the list. Now, it's going up by 7 each time, this one, isn't it? Yeah? You can either think of it going up by 7 each time, or you could think of it as the 7 times table, starting with 14. Okay, so what are the next three terms if it's going up by 7 each time? The next one is going to be 7 on top of that, which is 42, because 35 plus 7 is 42. The next one, 7 more than that, is 49. And the next one, 7 more than that, is 56. Now, it says describe using a sentence. Well, I would say this is all these numbers from the 7 times table, starting at 14, isn't it? Okay, because it's the 7 times table, but it's not starting at 7, it's starting at 14. In this second video on sequences, we're going to have a look at physical situations leading to these sorts of sequences. So if each of those lines represents a match. So if we're looking at this first one, 1 square is made up of 4 matches, 2 squares is 8 matches, 3 squares is 12 matches, and so on. So the first bit here says, draw the pattern needed for 4 squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So if we're doing 4 squares, you can see there would be 16 matches. So that'd be the fourth one. It follows on from that. Then they've given us the sequence of the number of matches, which has gone 4, 8, 12, 16, and asked us to continue it for 3 more. Okay, copy and continue it. So it goes 4, 8, 12, 16. What are we doing? We're going up by 4 each time, aren't we? Look, goes up by 4 each time. So the next one's 4 more than that, which would be 20. The next one's 4 more than 20, which is 24. And the last one's 4 more than 24, so 28. They asked for the next 3, which is, these are the next 3 in this sequence. Okay, it says copy and complete the next bit, so I should really write this all down again. It says start with 4 matches for 1 square and add on, well, that's what we were just doing here. We're seeing it's adding on 4 matches for each extra square I add. Okay? Next bit, it asks me how many matches are needed for 10 squares. Well, look, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the 7th one. So the 8th one would be 4 more, which is 32. The 9th one would be 36, wouldn't it? And the 10th one would therefore be 40. So, just continuing the sequence onwards, 32, 36, 40. That's our 10th term. So that's the one we needed for 10 matches. Sorry, for 10 squares. You need 40 matches. Have a look at a special sort of sequence. It's known as square numbers. Now, the reason is if I put together dots, you see if I put 1 dot there, that's 1, which is 1 by 1. Yeah, 1 times 1, 1. If I make the next square up, it would use 4 dots, wouldn't it? 2 there, 2 there. That's 4, which is 2 times 2. If you look at this next one, so that would be the first square number. That would be the second square number. This is the third square number. See, if I'm doing it out of dots, it's going to be 3 by 3, which is 9. Okay, so that would be 9, would be the third square number. Draw the fourth one, it says. Well, the fourth one would be just 4 rows of 4. Which, if I do that, yeah, if you count them up, you've got 16 because it's 4 times 4. 4 rows of 4 each. 4 times 4, giving you 16. So that would be that one done. It says list the first 6 square numbers. Well, we've got the first 4 of them here, haven't we? Right, so it goes 1, 4 is the second one, 9 is the third one, 16 is the fourth one. Now the next here it was 4 by 4, so the next one is 5 by 5. I don't have to draw it, I can just work it out, which is 25. So that's the 5th one. And the 6th one would be 6 times 6, which is 36. So that's the 6th one. Okay, so that would be listing the first 6 square numbers. If I want the 7th one, it's 7 times 7, and so on. Yeah, and they're called square numbers, as I said, because if you did them as dots, it makes a square. Okay, so next question. Is 32 a square number? Well, look, 25 is smaller than it. That's the fifth square number. That's the sixth square number. 32 is between those two, isn't it? So 32 is not a square number. No, because look, the fifth one is 25. The sixth one is 36. Okay, it's not either of those, and it's between those two, therefore it's not a square number. Okay, in fact, the next square number after this would be 7 times 7, which is 49. So 32 is not a square number. If I was asked, is 16 a square number, I would say, yes, look, it's the fourth one. Okay, so that's what a square number is. Okay, it's in the sequence 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, which is 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4, 5 times 5, 6 times 6, and so on. And as I said, we would describe 9 as being the third square number because it's the third term in this sequence. Okay, and if it's not in this list or a continuation of this list, okay, then it's not a square number. And you can tell that because 36 was bigger than 32, but below it, 32 is not one of them. So 32 is not a square number. If I was asked, is 45 a square number, I'd have had to go up to 49, which is the next square number, and 45 is smaller than that, so 45 would not be a square number. So if it's in that list, it's a square number. If it's not, then it's not a square number. You should be able to do the questions on square numbers now. I have no objection to you using a calculator because they ask you to work out, I think, the first 20 square numbers. Some of them are quite big, so you may use a calculator for these. Hope you're having a good day.